お前ら
かかってこい。
何行くぞ。さあ、これで文句はないな。
I could rant about video game movies all day, but my main gripe with them is that they never follow the games enough. Nevertheless, I had high hopes for Yakuza Like a Dragon, because I thought that the Japanese would adhere more to the source material than Hollywood does. But while it was an entertaining movie, the search for a great video game movie is still on. Now if there's one thing I'm gonna do a lot in this review, it's nitpick. I'm not a movie critic, I'm just a gamer with an eye for details. But I'm just saying, if you hate nitpicking, then it's best you shut off the video right now. This movie mainly retells the story of the first Yakuza game, and many of the characters from the game are present and accounted for. Now finding a Japanese actor with the proportions of Kazuma Kiryu was probably pretty difficult, but the guy they chose does a good job. I have to note though that his shirt isn't supposed to be red. It's supposed to be, well, it's kind of indefinable. Ranges from dark pink to kind of purple-ish, but it's not red. Haruka, despite being a bit tall, looks exactly like she did in the game. Likewise, they did a good job with Majima, although they put the eye patch on the wrong side. Kazuki, the owner of Stardust, is in the movie, but he's got a black suit instead of white. Kiryu's former boss and mentor Kazuma looks decent, but he didn't have a beard in the game. There's also Date. They chose a pretty charismatic actor for him, but if he didn't have the trench coat on, I wouldn't have guessed it was him. Kamurocho in general looks great, and the movie filmed on location in Kabukicho, so they didn't have to do much except change a few street and store signs. Now the story. Like I said, it's basically a retelling of Yakuza 1, except that they cut away too much for my taste, and the movie has several subplots that go nowhere. Instead of beginning the movie with the event 10 years ago where Nishiki shot Dojima and Kiryu took the blame and went to prison, they open with a couple of inept robbers raiding a bank without money during a heat wave. It's funny, but it's not from the game, and it seems irrelevant. But to be fair, it does have something to do with the story, because the reason the bank is out of money is that 10 billion yen of the Tojo clan's money has been removed from several banks. In the game it was all in one bank, but I can buy that, so to speak. The second subplot is about a young couple who go on a series of store robbings because the woman needs money to pay off a Yakuza clan. The movie segues nicely from the real plot to and from these people, but the problem is, I don't care. The third subplot is connected to the story, but not in a good way. A mysterious Korean man is staying at Stardust by Kazuma's request, and we find out his purpose later is to assassinate Kyohei Jingu before he comes to Kamurocho. But more on that later. We first meet Kazuma in a Poppo store, where he's attacked by Yakuza. After beating them up, he buys dog food for the dog Haruka is tending to. This happened right after he met Haruka in the game. Majima gets the news of Kiryu's release from prison and goes out to find him. They give Majima a lot of screen time, which is understandable because he is an entertaining character, but perhaps they gave him a bit too much screen time. They must have seen Majima in the game beating up his own man and thought it was great because he does that a lot in this movie. I get that he's supposed to be unpredictable, but my problem with this is that he kind of had a reason to do that in the game. Here he just beats up his own men whenever he feels like it. In the game it was unclear if Majima really wanted to kill Kazuma or just fight him. We didn't really know if he was a friend or foe. In the movie, however, he seems to clearly be a foe, albeit a funny one. My big problem with the movie comes at the end. Now in the game we knew that Kiryu and Nishiki grew up together, and that after Kiryu went to prison and Yumi disappeared, Nishiki had turned evil.
We are brothers no longer.
Jingu was Haruka's father and had cooperated with the Tojo clan in the past, but now betrayed them to the Omi alliance and tried to kill Haruka and get the 10 billion. Yumi threatened to blow up the money. Kiryu beat up Jingu, but he came back after Kiryu's fight with Nishiki to kill Kazuma, but Yumi took the bullet for him. Then Nishiki appeared, stabbed Jingu in the gut and blew up the money and the whole top floor of Millennium Tower. Kiryu and Haruka somehow survived. There was a lot of emotion to those scenes, as Kiryu had to fight his best friend and see his only love, Yumi, die. In the movie, it's only said in one line that Kiryu and Nishiki used to run together, and when he fights him, there's no drama to it whatsoever, it's just another obstacle. Then Yumi turns up and blows herself and the money sky high in order to kill Jingu in the blast. But oh, he was already killed. Yeah, that mysterious Korean guy sniped him in his helicopter before he got to land. Way to rob us of an interesting confrontation movie. This movie focuses way too much on subplots and Majima, when the focus should have been on Kiryu and his relationship to Nishiki, the Tojo power struggle, and uncovering the mystery around Haruka. So from the perspective of closeness to the source material, this movie didn't live up to my expectations. But it's in no way a bad movie. It's entertaining and at times very funny. And I must say, having Kazuma drink stamina and spark like you would in the games was awesome. And like how the Resident Evil movie influenced the games when the laser corridor made an appearance in Resident Evil 4, I can't help but think that the fact that Majima uses a shotgun in the movie was the reason that he also used shotguns in Dead Souls. Also, the bathhouse where Majima almost kills Kiryu looks an awful lot like the love hotel that Kanda was in Yakuza 3. So, to sum things up, again, this is a pretty good movie, but as a movie adaptation of Yakuza, it could have been better.
町が汚れるやないかなあ。